Johnny Football, you say?
Yeah, Johnny Football, I do say. Have you seen it on the old Netflix, the Johnny Manziel story, Johnny Football, the Untold Truth, or whatever the fuck? I don't even know what the name of the actual thing is, but
I think
Johnny Football.
it's an episode or like I guess an episode of Untold. Untold is like
Yeah.
the series.
Yes,
On
that's what it is. And it basically just goes through. I mean, really, they didn't really need to tell us. Like, I guess we kind of like figured it out over the span of his college and very limited professional career. But what I found amazing about the old Johnny Football is Johnny Football was Johnny Football because Johnny Football was fucking around and finding out what he was capable of. And then when he got to the pros, all of a sudden they're like, all right, you know all that stuff that you were doing back in college and made you the first American collegiate athlete to win the Heisman Trophy? We want you to stop doing all of that and now do it this way. And then all of a sudden he didn't perform. All of a sudden Johnny Football just became some shitbag and ended up at a nightclub and on the front page of like the New York Times. Well, why didn't they just let Johnny Football be Johnny Football? That's the question I pose to you. I want to start with you, Wes. Should professional programs let special athletes just be special? Just do your thing. You like hookers and cocaine? Go have fun, Johnny. We'll see you on Sunday. Why not?
So hold on 1 second, because I had an answer, and that hookers and cocaine thing threw me for a loop. So you're saying it wasn't so much as on-field stuff, as opposed to we're just going to turn a blind eye towards your extracurriculars off the practice field in Cleveland. I don't even know what the hell that stadium is called. That you're saying that, or you're saying they wouldn't let him be special on the field, or is it a little bit of both?
I think he was not special on the field because he was holding a grudge against the organization for giving him shit about what he liked to do in his personal life. Like, that's not professional what you're doing. And so we're not going to let you do it. And if you do, we're going to fine you. And your teammates are going to think mean things about you. And then Johnny Football's not having fun playing football anymore. So he doesn't play well on the field on Sunday. Does that make sense, Alan? What do you think? Come on. Come on.
I mean, maybe. I think it was more like Johnny Football wasn't very good and then also got drafted by the Browns. And like, it's not very easy to be good with that Browns team. Like, he did it to himself. Like, I don't know. I mean, sure, I don't care. I think there are athletes who get to do all the fucking hookers and cocaine they want because they produce on the field. Like, you don't really hear about it because it's kept over here where it should be because they make the franchise millions of dollars and win it Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like, if it came out that Patrick Mahomes was fucking hookers and fucking blowing cocaine off his wife's forehead while doing it. Like,
that's a lot of cocaine.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Like,
a lot of surface area. Yeah.
People would be like, that's fucking wild, but he's fucking incredible. So, but when Johnny Manziel does it, people are like, well, fuck that guy. Like,
well, you find out about it when you're Michael Irvin. You're really stupid. And you go to seedy ass hotels with seedy ass hookers and probably bad cocaine. Just so you know, let's clear the air here.
And that's true. But at that point, Jerry Jones, because I'm sure Jerry Jones, come on, like 4 nights a week, he probably joined him back in the '90s, and then it's like, oh man, you got caught on the freeway. I can't help you there, son. Like that was the thing. Michael Irvin did that to himself. But I started thinking about some of the pro athletes that, okay, like LT back in the day. LT didn't even have a playbook. LT's playbook was like, hey, LT, what you gonna do? I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. It's like, all right, that's the play. Guys, behind LT, go. Like, that was the play. They just let LT do whatever he wanted. And you're right, he did produce on the field, which is different than what Johnny Manziel was doing. But I entered to the record of the court serves the game of Tiger Woods. Before Tiger Woods got beat up with a golf club and we found out that he was nailing like 15, 20, 30, 40 high-class hookers at the same time, he was playing the best golf that any human being has ever played on the face of the earth. Post Tiger Woods being shamed for his actions, middle of the road, okay, golf.
Well, I don't know. Post first time, he won a Masters again. post
that
like
that was a fuck you win, by the way.
He won
Yeah,
Player of
post-
the Year one of those years, like 2013.
Yeah,
He won
yeah.
like 6 events or something.
like post second incident or whatever, second, third, then things
The
started to
DUI.
kinda come off. Yeah, because things started to kind of come off the rails. But yeah, Johnny Manziel didn't do that. You know what I
That's-
mean?
Okay, and Johnny Manziel was an excellent collegiate football player. Let's not get it twisted. We say and to get drafted, you're the 0.0001% of the talent pool. Would he? There are some times where I think like, okay, Tebow, he wouldn't have been a good quarterback. He would have been a good football player in the right system. A hybrid role where he was a fullback, he was a tight end, he went out, he was a trick play, and he was a third string quarterback if the shit hit the fan and the quarterback got, injured and then the backup got injured in the very next play. I don't know. Just spitballing here. I'm not saying Manziel would have done that. Could have he been a viable backup? I suppose, man, but when you get to that level and you're not producing, it was Jimmy Johnson. Sorry, Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones's pupil. Too many J's here. Jeff Jarrett was in there as well somewhere. But Jimmy Johnson said, I treat everybody equally, but I don't treat everybody fairly. And what he meant by that was if you're just on the cusp of making the practice squad or being the 56 man and you see some special teams here and there and you're sleeping during film time, get the fuck out of here. If you're Troy Aikman, I'm getting that guy a pillow.
And that's fair, but I guess my point is like after watching the docuseries, from the time he ended up at the combine, and this is what's great about that is like he apparently got blitzed like the night before the combine and was like and calls his agent. He's like, yeah, I fucked up, and he's like, what'd you do? You've been clean for 6 months. What'd you do? And he tells him what he did, and it's like, don't worry about it. I'll just drink a gallon of water and some Pedialyte. I passed these shits all the time back in college. Come to find out, the third string quarterback was pissing for Johnny back in college, and Johnny didn't even know it. They were just doing that because Texas A&M was just letting Johnny be Johnny and just like not even telling Johnny that he was a fuck up. Like, man, you great, man. Whatever it takes to get you out on that field on Saturdays, you do what you do. You do you, Johnny Football. And Johnny Football did Johnny Football. But when he got to the Browns, it was like, no, you're missing, young man. That's not how we do this in the professionals. You see, we're in bed by 5. We study our iPad from 6 to 9. And Johnny's like, I'm going to Vegas, private plane, signing bonus. And it didn't work.
I think, but the problem is like when you're in college, you got a bunch of buddies who are fucking doing blow and fucking hookers along with you. Your O linemen are out there. Your fucking O linemen are 28 to 32-year-old men in the prime of their life. They have a couple children. They are fucking that. This is work now. Like Johnny Manziel was like, yeah, we're still fucking doing it, and a bunch of grown adults were like, nope. We've got adult things to do. Like, and he was like, I'm bored now. Football's not fun anymore. Like, football doesn't afford me fucking coke and hookers. Like,
if you don't shape up, there's a young man in the college ranks right now named Mayfield. We might draft, motherfucker. Yeah. Shape your ass up. Now,
do so many insurance commercials.
And when you beat, like, thinking about this, your Heisman year, and you beat the train that is known as Alabama.
Yeah.
In Bama. Christ, I can't imagine the hoopla that happened after that. He was probably still using that 3 years after that while at the training camp. Like, you know who I am? I beat Alabama. I beat Saban in fucking Tuscaloosa, motherfucker. Get the fuck away from me. Shit, screen passes. Johnny be Johnny. Manny being Manny. Johnny being Johnny. Same thing.
I understand what you're saying, Alan. I mean, me as an older man and some kid comes around fucking around. Yeah, he might want to find out. But I think about who was the
find out.
Wes, you talk about this all the time. Like I'd play the game for free. You pay me to practice. So it's almost like, Johnny, we're paying you to fucking win. We're not paying you to practice. So go, listen, guys, squad in. This is your quarterback. You don't have to like him. You don't have to respect him. You don't even have to understand him. And you don't have to know why he's not here. Sunday, these are the plays. He's probably not going to know them. But you know what? He's going to execute. And we're going to goddamn win.
Yeah, I just think he couldn't do it. Yeah, look, look, people do. Aaron Rodgers goes on fucking peyote trips mid-season. Fucking bye week peyote trips. No problems. Nobody. You don't hear anybody bitching about it. TMZ might say something about it, but nope. League's not saying anything. Coach isn't saying that he's not suspended because he's fucking winning games.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. But he's been winning games for more than a decade. So there is that.
But
That comes
that's the
into play.
point, though.
And he was a company man when he first got in. I think over time, like when the company man's making the company money, it's
Yeah.
like I'm the company now. I do what I do. 'Cause
Yeah.
Did you see his TED talk, by the way, about going and doing ayahuasca?
No, I did not.
He was like doing this whole TED talk and how the league was so pissed off at him for, the whole COVID incident, and then the Packers were pissed at him for going and doing ayahuasca, and he goes like, "Here's the thing, wildly unhappy, shitty season, most interceptions I've ever thrown. Go to Costa Rica, take some ayahuasca, come back, NFL MVP. Tell me, who's right and who's wrong?" So,
Yeah.
and and so yeah, sometimes I just think there's certain players that maybe everybody else is almost being paid their salaries like hush money for how everybody. You worry about you, we'll worry about everyone else. You guys do the job we're paying you to do, and you need to practice, you dumb motherfucker, because you don't know shit and you're not that athletic. But Johnny,
Like
Johnny's my man.
if Aaron Rodgers came back from Costa Rica and doing ayahuasca and then fucking like fucked off to Vegas and didn't show up for Monday Night Football, people would have a problem. But Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers came back and won MVP. No problems at all. Go do ayahuasca, bud. You want some more? You want it now?
We all watched the Jordan documentary, and the whole thing was like, think about it. Phil Jackson did not want Dennis Rodman taking a private plane to Las Vegas, but what happened? Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan like, listen, we want to win next week. You gotta go let Dennis be Dennis.
Gotta let Dennis-
Because when
Yeah.
Dennis is only happy when there's hookers and rave music playing. So let Dennis go get happy, and then when he comes back, we're gonna kill the Pistons. All right, that's what we're gonna do.
And or Carmen Electra. I mean, let's not sell this thing short. It was actually really good when he was with the Pistons. An assistant coach went over at practice to try to give him a pointer, and Chuck Daly, the then coach, the late great Chuck Daly, who was the head coach of the first Dream Team, grabbed him and goes, "Oh no, you don't put a saddle on a stallion." What a good line! What a good line!
Yeah, man. And that's coaches being coaches, man. That's coaches coaching the players. And everybody else just needs to get in line and understand. I'm not saying that Johnny Manziel was ever going to amount to anything, but I do wonder, like, just seeing that, like, I mean, that ferocious rise to, like, getting that first round pick, all the strings that had to be pulled, everybody that believed in him up to that point, but they believed in him and all of his flaws. But then some NFL corporation was like, "Oh, we don't believe in this, and we like to button our ties," and yibbidi-dibbidi-dibbidi-doo, and he didn't succeed. He also went to the Browns, so you can say whatever you want about him. How many like high and tight, straight out of college, like yes sir, no sir quarterbacks did they crush the souls of for the last 30 years?
Yeah,
I was
And
gonna
There's
say,
that
like,
too.
yeah, it's also probably just fucking. Like, I don't think that they didn't. I didn't think they put really stringent guardrails on. I mean, they said the man had 0 iPad hours. You know what I mean? It's not like he had like 12 and maybe did a little bit of it, and somebody was harping on him about it, and he was like, "Fuck, I'll leave it running in the background or something." You know, he didn't even do that. My man just went straight to the fuck it. Like,
Yeah.
and so I don't really think that they were that stringent on. They were like, "Can you do the bare minimum, please?" And he was like, "Nah, fuck that."
Nah, I beat the
Fair enough.
Bears on
Yeah,
Sunday.
I love how they're talking about that. Like the Browns are like, yeah, we looked at his iPad. It had 0 hours logged, and it cuts back to him, and it's just going,
0.
yeah, I didn't look at that thing. Nothing.
And you said, Alan, you said do the bare minimum. It's like, that's all you can do, Johnny, right? Do the bare minimum. And he said that no. I beat the Bears on Sunday. And you said company man, right, Merv? That's what you alluded to?
What do you mean? What do you mean, company
Like,
man?
no, he's not being a company man.
Well, I just mean the company expects the man to be a certain way sometimes, and it's like if you want the most production out of some of your guys, especially like the guys that you've banked your future on, you got to take the whole package. You know, the good with the bad with the good.
Right. But maybe he was being a company manzel.
I hate you.
No, bullshit.
Terrible.
Bullshit. Okay, you want to kill it there? All right, we'll kill it there. Fuck it, we'll do it live here. Welcome to the Middle Class Holes, Murr, Allen, and Foxman. Welcome everyone. Nearing and inching to the end of summer. Actually, what? It's actually September 21st. Never mind. We got a whole month left. What the fuck am I? I'm an idiot.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'll tell you this: if this is global warming, I say bring it on, baby, because it's been a pretty mild summer following a mild winter. Usually, a mild winter means a fuck you summer. It's not been that bad, man. We've had like 1-2 week stretch where it was kind of awful outside. It's all right. It's all right.
I'm all right. Somebody gonna help me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. I think if it stays like this, it'll be all right. I would like some snow, though. When's the last time we had to get snow around these parts?
I mean, a little over a
minute.
year ago. Okay, a little
No.
over a year ago.
No fucking way. A decent snow?
What do you want a decent snow for? Okay, let's just stop
I-
right there.
I love snow.
Okay, why?
I don't know. I just do.
Okay, you like the aesthetic of it?
Childhood wonderment, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't look, man. We've already gone over this. I don't care that you work in the elements. It's not my problem. You chose that profession. I don't fucking have to deal with it. So snow, it's beautiful to me. Love it. Look out this window right here while I'm working, and be like, oh, look at that. Look at how nice it is outside for me, who's not outside right now.
That's a good point.
That-
He makes a hell of a point.
That's the answer to your question.
And I will say this: touche is a fair answer, but it stalls out But we've also talked about how long until you collapse from society not operating in a really functional way.
That's
And, you
true.
know, if the snow continues to glisten out your window, eventually DoorDash ain't coming to your door in a dash. There's going to be a
That's
lot of things you're going to be missing out on. You can go if it snows one day and then it's like, okay, that was beautiful, and then goes away, I'm okay with that. But if we're talking like sustained snows, it serves no purpose. What purpose does snow serve?
I mean, it doesn't.
Okay, thankfully we're on board on that.
So
So
there's no purpose for it.
it's a nuisance.
I
It's
mean,
a
I guess-
nuisance.
I guess it's like rain, but in the winter. So I guess it does have the same purpose as rain, which is
It's an ecosystem.
hydrating the earth. But yeah, I mean, there's no real purpose for it.
Okay, good. At least we've established that.
Yeah,
So all the people that actually make the world work can actually continue to work for
That's
the
debatable.
world.
that's debatable.
You're the Johnny Manziel sitting in your house.
Hey, if you get hookers and blow, call me. I'll get up there. I'll man's
got
it up with you.
got it,
I'll do it. We'll get all the snow.
How are they going to get there? There's too much snow on the ground.
I mean, you male guys get around. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
No, that's even possible sometimes. But you're right.
Neither do I, honestly. I feel like this is another instance of like they just send you into danger. And they're like, here,
100%.
Here you
Only
go.
only once have they sent us back. They've called us back. They sent us out, but they called us back like 3 hours later. And at that point, I'm like, I might as well finish. It's going to take me that long to get back. You might as well I'm already hunkered in to where I am. Just let me continue. Like, nope, got to come back. Oh,
Because they sure as hell don't care about you getting home.
No, fuck no. They didn't care about me getting there. They didn't care about me getting home. But I'll tell you what, man, you find yourself a nice cul-de-sac, and you just turn that wheel to the left and just punch that fucker. Ooh, that's the only time that's a sweet ride. You just zip-zoo, zip-zoo, zip-zoo. Good to go, baby.
Nice.
There's something. There's an auditor listening right now, just
I
ready
don't
to
care.
pounce.
I don't care.
This is coming out of BuzzFeed. This is people sharing the moments they realized they were dating a dummy, and it's actually really funny. There's 36 of these. I'm not going to go over all 36 of these. Me and Merv vetted these, and Alan, buckle up. Buckle up like you're in a USPS truck in a cul-de-sac on a big snowstorm. all
So
right?
not at all.
There, that's it. Yeah. Take your seatbelt off.
So it doesn't function.
Yeah, all right, fine. Wear your lap belt loosely. Let's go.
There you
Uh-huh.
go.
It's like you're on an airplane. Like it's going to matter.
It's just a
Fuckers.
bungee cord that he fucking fashioned to what? He's like, all right, boys.
I had one once. I was literally like driving on Route 40, and it all of a sudden just goes. I heard the click, and it's just like wink, and it just distracted. I was like, really? Like, It was latched. There's something wrong with the button. And like this thing was fucking latched, and it's just nope. Now we're here. And like Wes said, it's like an airplane. It's a false sense of security. But if you don't have that bright ass, by the way, pay attention. They are neon orange, not because they care. They just want to know. That's it. They want to be able to see from afar if you're breaking a rule or not.
Yeah,
Fair
that makes
enough.
sense.
Okay, I once told a guy I was dating he needed more humility, and he literally responded with, "Why would I want to be humiliated?"
Crazy.
Why would I want to be humiliated? Yeah, I wonder if the guy had any humility.
I guess.
How would he know?
That's correct. Yeah, I had the self reflection, reflecting upon self. When I read that, it reminded me of the scene from Spinal Tap when she says, "They're not going to produce the album cover. It's sexist." And Nigel Tufnell goes like, "Well, what's wrong with being sexy?" Sexist. Is this guy fucking serious? Skipping ahead a little bit, I dated a girl in high school and she was generally very bright. We were at the mall one day looking at those big maps in a mall directory. She asked how the map knew where we were standing. Dumbfounded, I asked her to clarify. She pointed at the star on the map and said, "You are here," and asked how the map knew. I explained that the map was where we were standing and we were reading it. After 10 minutes of trying to explain it, she still didn't get it. I don't understand. He said she's generally very bright.
Doesn't sound like it.
Doesn't sound like it. Yeah.
Look, I went to high school with a lot of girls who got really good grades, and if you asked them a common sense question, they couldn't answer it.
That's true.
I don't know, and I wouldn't even know as this guy. I would not know how to even explain that. Like, they know where they put the map, right? Yeah, that's where the dot is. Yeah, how do they know where I am? Because they're just assuming that you're looking at the map that they located on the map for you. It's like
You've already complicated it too much.
I know, but this
It's
also
not the literal you.
this is yes, it's the figurative you.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like those there's TikTok videos all over the place of like if you're going 60 miles an hour, how far will you have traveled in an hour? And then they sit there and try to do fucking calculus, and it's like the answer's in the question, babe. If you're doing 60 miles an hour, you're going to go 60 miles in 1 hour. That's it. That's the answer. They don't get it. They overcomplicate things.
Yeah, but what if you're in Europe and it's kilometers? Could be. There's no telling. So this one, he got dicey fajitas from Chile. Is it?
I think it's Chili's. I think it's supposed to be Chili's.
Well, sorry, Chili's. Sorry, the restaurant. He got dicey fajitas from Chili's. Is that meaning like on the surface they didn't look good, or is that a menu item?
No. I think that means like that they were tainted.
You're rolling the dice eating these. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
He got dicey fajitas from Chili's, got food poisoning, then ate the leftovers. That just sounds like just a hunk of meat idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Wes, I gotta tell you something. When I read that one, you were the first person I thought of.
I'm not gonna lie, I could see that.
But they were good, man. I figured if I microwaved
They
them,
were so good.
Yeah,
If you
just
cook them
burn the
again,
shit
it
out of
kills
them.
all the bacteria.
bingo. I'll just put some hot sauce on there. That'll kill anything.
Yeah.
Glad you thought of me. That's great. So, quote, he thought cutting the umbilical cord determined penis length. He legit thought it was a doctor's fault for cutting it too short. If a man had a smaller penis and didn't realize the cord was what caused people to have belly buttons. He didn't think girls had umbilical cords to cut at all when they were born. I don't know. Did the guy just fall asleep during sex ed? Did the guy just never wonder?
I think it's just bad parenting.
Yeah. Do you think he may not have known what sex was? You're right.
It's crazy.
So, okay, because, I mean, I would have a lot of questions for this guy. And this is where, unfortunately, I don't feel like girls in general, it's just their nature, I don't feel like they're curious enough. Because I would have liked to have had her press that issue a lot. Like, again, I don't know. Did this guy have a small penis? Did he have a big penis? Did he have a regular penis? And was just like, man, I'm glad they didn't go any shorter, but he could have left me a little more on the top. You know, like, I mean, what did he think was happening? And maybe contact his doctor. Maybe sue him for malpractice if you believe that's what's happening. I mean, you really think the doctor but this is the question I'd have for him is like, Okay, so you're born, right? And then the doctor's gonna snip the umbilical cord. Yeah. Is he guesstimating at like what length he thinks your penis is gonna be or should be, or because
Mm.
you're gonna grow, right? Does he think like this is gonna? Nah, if I hit it right here, he's gonna be like 8 inches. He's gonna be lucky boy. Like, what
Yeah.
does he think's happening there?
Yeah, you got. He looks at the parents. He sees the height of the parents, and he guesstimates. Okay, the child's going to be this or that. I'll leave a margin of error of 3/4 to a half an inch. Voila, and then the proximity is right. You know.
Like, does he think the doctor goes to like a class in med school that's like umbilical cord to penis length conversion, and he's like, the guy just like doctors just sit there like tediously fucking cutting umbilical cords, hoping that the penises turn out right, like
Yeah. The
yeah,
doctor, the physician who's teaching the class has a yardstick and
yeah,
just constantly points at the screen, and then
yeah,
uses the yardstick as a frame of reference. Here,
yeah.
cut it there.
Like, are black doctors just overly generous? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say poor every time he watched a porn, he was like, "That guy had a good doctor." And she said, "Look at that, generous feller, feeling good that day, wasn't he?" Moving on, my ex would drink whole milk because when he saw 2%, he thought, "What's the other 98%?" He thought he was genius.
I'll tell you what. I read that, and that's not the worst thought, though. I'll give.
Right.
I'm not hating because what is it? 2% means it's got like 2% of its fat content. Is that roughly right?
Yeah, I think
Is
so.
that- So
I think
yeah,
that's how it works.
but yeah, I mean, but he's not wrong to think that. Nobody really explains what that means.
He's also not wrong to think that because it's basically like 2% milk and 98% water.
Well, you know what
Isn't
they
it
they
Two
replaced the
percent is
fat.
just fat content.
Yeah,
Right?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say actually after, so I think again, it depends upon person to person, but generally around 3 to 4, you should switch to skim because your body doesn't need that fat anymore. Because typically you get it if you're being breastfed, and then when you stop being breastfed, you're drinking, milk with a fair amount of fat because you need those I don't know if it's fatty acids, but you need that fat, and then you should switch to skim.
Well,
And then you should continue it drinking it until you're about 25 because of what's the bone density?
osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though. They replace that fat content with sugar. So milk that is 2% or less is actually worse for you than the whole milk because the fats that you're getting from whole milk are actually more beneficial to your body than the sugars that they've replaced it with. So I only drink whole milk, and I don't sit around drinking like fucking pints of fucking milk.
Yeah, I don't
mean,
really pour myself glasses of whole milk.
All right.
Yeah, like if I'm having like breakfast, I might have like a Sunday breakfast. I'll probably have a coffee and like a juice glass worth of milk, like 4 ounces of milk.
I like it.
Yeah,
Pretty much exclusively a cereal milk drinker.
yeah, that's fair too.
Ooh, yeah, because whole milk goes good with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Let me tell you. Ooh-wee. Yeah.
Goes, whole milk goes good with every cereal,
Yes.
honestly.
Hey, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch are just like miniature French toast pieces that they
That's right.
microwaved.
Dude, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't know what the molecular structure of those little crunchy
They're
biscuits are, but they're heaven, man. They are heaven.
Oh, yeah?
Even when they're crispy, they like disintegrate as soon as you munch them, and then once they're moist, look at
They're
that
even
dog.
better somehow.
Yeah.
That's genius, man. It's fucking genius. Moving on, she was a 40-something woman and asked, is duck an animal?" Everyone in the room got real quiet and just looked at each other. Is duck an animal? It didn't even say, is a duck an animal? Is duck an animal? Every duck in the world.
So this is
What do you think it was? A decoy?
Well, this is some chick who has probably been milking young men for high-end dinners for decades, and it's just like, that's the most expensive thing on the menu. I'm gonna have the duck, and doesn't know what it's comprised of.
What it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand. You're probably right. I've ordered said thing off said menu. Probably not the menu. It's the same menu as hers, maybe. I don't know. But I understand. Yeah, $30 entree at duck, and it's good too.
Is
Ooh,
it
when done
though?
with the crispy duck, yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, all right, because I've only had duck once, and I was like, this is greasier than I anticipated.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, then I maybe just don't like what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, duck's a fatty bird. So it'll be greasy it depends on how it's prepared too.
Isn't also depends upon how old it is too.
Yeah, I think
You
so.
got to get it at a certain age, certain like gap.
It's like my palate has kind of really worked out for my bank account. Like I'm not a fan of duck. I don't really like lobster. Um, like all the most expensive things. Like I've kind of like, I don't know, just kind of automatically been weeded out by my pussified palate. I do like a good steak though. That's the only place I get in trouble, man. I remember we had a gift card. We had a $50 gift card to like a Texas Roadhouse or something, and I got the Porterhouse, man. Oh, Texas Longhorn, a little bit classier than the Roadhouse.
Sorry, I was about to say that's where you and Maria went on your anniversary. I was like, damn, dude, you go there a lot.
We went to a Texas Longhorn, which is actually like it's a Texas Roadhouse without the peanut shells on the floor. And yeah, I got the Porterhouse, man. It was just like they gave me 2 plates because the one plate was just my steak. Oh, it was glorious.
Nice.
This is my ex asked me what kind of animal is Mickey Mouse. I just kept saying it back. Say that again slower. Fucking moron.
Yeah,
God.
it's rough.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, he and the map chick, man. They could have started fucking. They could have started the apocalypse by breeding.
Mickey Mouse is a duck, which isn't an animal, so it's a cartoon. And Donald's a mouse.
Oh my god.
Could have really fucked with them then. When I found out my ex didn't know what order the months go in, I asked him to learn. He got mad, said no, said it wasn't something he was interested in. So a full-grown adult did not know the order of the 12 months in the calendar year.
How does he even know what the months are? Like, I mean, seriously, how do you even? Okay, can I just say how would he? If you don't know the order, how do you even know what that then it's just gobbledygook. It doesn't mean anything. Like what is that? Like how do you even operate? How is this person employed by a fucking person that gives him money?
Yeah. As we say, like, let's just say he tries to abbreviate, or, okay, let's just say they tried to abbreviate. No, actually, let's say he wouldn't do it. Okay. He wanted to abbreviate it by, numerical month / numerical day. And then sat there for 15 minutes scratching his head thinking like, oh, I got a 1 in 12 chance. Okay, let's see here. March, fuck it, 11/14. I don't know. I really don't know. It's like people who get through certain, not just high school, but certain levels of curriculum that are illiterate. I don't know. I really don't know. These people are kind of quasi brilliant in their own way.
Yeah, you're kind of right, but somebody's got to have jogged them along. And I mean by jog, I mean like grab them by the front of the shirt and like drag them down the street to get to where they are. There's no way. It's incomprehensible to me that somebody, and then to say like I'm not interested. You're not interested in
Like
this
that's
isn't.
the thing that got me. Like, what the fuck kind of statement is that? What does that even mean?
Yeah. Do you guys remember 40-Year-Old Virgin, correct?
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
playing cards, and after 5 minutes of Q&A, they realize he's a virgin.
Yeah.
And like, wait a minute, that makes sense. I feel as though if I cross paths with this person, with any amount of regularity, quickly, I would be like, wait a minute. You don't know what order the months are in.
Yeah.
Wait, am I right?
Like, if you don't know what order the months are in, do you know what order the days are in?
That's a great question.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't be trusted. You're a fucking menace. Like,
Yeah.
how do you just go from day to day being like, this is the day it is? Like, that's it.
What if you're a parent or manage people? Something wild. I don't know.
You don't even say the words tomorrow or yesterday. Like, they just don't fucking exist. Like, like, I just
It's all
don't.
just one, and it's now.
Yeah, it's all just now, man.
Well, I mean, okay, I almost feel like by process of elimination, like, how would you not know the order? Especially if you've become an adult and you've lived past fucking
what I'm
infancy. Because, okay, like, January is the first month of the year. You got to know that one, right? Like, that's almost a given. February, you're in a relationship. That's Valentine's Day. You know that's coming. Okay, now March, April, May, fine. Maybe you get those 3 mixed up. But then by the time you get to, like, June, summer, July 4th is coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you miss August, September. I don't know. But I mean, but then October is Halloween, November is Thanksgiving, December is Christmas. You've almost got half the year planned out for you. Like if here's the thing, like you're talking about sitting around playing cards, figuring out if the guy's a virgin or not, and figuring out whether they know the months or not. Like if they didn't know like April, May, June, okay, fine. You didn't know what order they went in. Gotcha. No big deal. But to not know all 12 of them, give me a that's
ridiculous.
That's criminal.
I almost don't believe it, actually.
Can you imagine, like, okay, he almost would have to hear through the mouth of someone else that his birthday was around the corner. Like, ooh, someone's got a birthday coming up. Oh, we're right, I do. Thank you for reminding me.
The fucking guy who makes the statement that he's not interested in learning the months doesn't celebrate birthdays. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't exist. Like, that's what I'm saying. You just got to be oblivious to, like, space-time, I guess. Like, fucking operate in such a manner. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, great point. My ex once sent a ridiculous text, and I made a comment about how many double negatives he used. He called me a dummy and said it wasn't math, and it was cute how I thought that double negatives have anything to do with language.
That's the kind of shit where you just gotta break up with them.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I remember, and I will leave this person. I won't even do my bad fake naming. I just remember someone left a bottle of iced tea in somebody's freezer, and the bottle burst. And they're like, man, I don't know how that happened. And I was like, oh, well, you know, water expands when it freezes. And this person vehemently argued against me and even said to me, you only went to Cecil Community College. I went to blah, blah, blah. I think I know. And I was just like, oh, when you find out that you
Wait a
are
minute.
wrong.
You just said you don't know how it happened, right?
Well, because he said that nothing expands when it freezes. That was his argument. I said, except for water, which makes it the one unique property that water has over all other elements. So you can really go fuck yourself for the amount of money you spent at your shitty college in your fucking chemical engineering program.
Wait a minute. Hank, bear with me. January, February. Just wanted to see. Yeah, let's see here. That's just better reads. She said playing basketball makes you taller. Her proof was that all tall people play basketball. That's just a woman who is not interested in sports, not knowing about sports.
Yeah, I mean, at least there is at least she had a correlation. It's wrong, but she had created one in her mind. Like, oh, I guess if you play basketball, you get taller, and not the other way around. You play basketball because you're already tall. Because I tell you, man, I played a lot of basketball as a kid. Didn't happen.
Didn't work. Yeah. Did you played a lot of basketball and the umbilical cord got cut too short? Just kidding. Did I steal your thunder on that?
I was going next, though.
All right, so we were talking about dinosaurs, and he was shocked to find out that they were real. Then he proceeded to ask me if they really breathed fire. He thought dinosaurs and dragons were the same thing.
Again, I don't really like that one's like, oh, if you didn't know dinosaurs existed and then you found out, that one's almost fair. Like, I'm being really generous with some of these, but like, at least he knows that a dragon is a dinosaur-looking creature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. A reptile, probably cut from the same ilk.
Now,
the same leathery skin.
Did you know that there are some of those really hardcore evangelicals out there? Like, this would be like the first conspiracy, by the way, is that dinosaurs are a conspiracy to try to trick us into believing that the Earth is not 6,000 years old.
Of course, yeah. But I went to middle school with some dumbass who tried. Well, I don't know if he was smart enough to throw this. He said it was a ploy for people to get rich. He said they realized that people would pay money for you to dig up bullshit in the Arizona desert and come back with some fake femur. Be like, yeah, this is from a triceratops. just made that up on the spot because I'm that smart. Like, oh wow. Yeah, I was like, that's wow. Okay, man. Here we are in gym class. I'm sure you know it all.
I wish I was there at the infancy of like dinosaur discovery because like I would have loved to name some dinosaurs, dude. Like Triceratops, it's like, well, he's got 3 horns on top, right? So Triceratops, get it?
Well, moving on here. Well, when he missed his daily medication, he threw it out instead of just saving it for the next day.
Oh god.
Yeah, and
That's another. Just leave that person.
I was going to say, when I'm thinking of someone like this, daily medication, they got that motherfucking flip top S through S. You know,
What do they even mean though, Wes?
what are these days? I don't. Christ, are these in order?
What order do I take?
Why don't they just go through 1 through 7? And then so I think of this person having that, and then if they aren't taking what's in that, they are bound to die.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you have a Monday or Sunday through Saturday pill thing, you're likely someone who needs pills in order to live.
Right. No,
If
no,
you're
no.
missing days and be like, fuck it, these are no good. They only got 1 day shelf life. You're gonna croak.
Yeah, well, I mean, but thinking men like us would be like, huh, I could sell this to somebody on the street.
I wonder what the going rate for high blood pressure med is. Okay. Yeah, when he said he'd make pancakes and then put dry powder directly in the pan.
Gross.
Dad, what would that would just fuck the pan up.
It would.
Yeah, probably.
It would probably just catch fire eventually, any which way. I mean, somebody that's sheltered. I don't know. I don't know. Did they never? I mean, maybe it was a sweet gesture, like, hey, I'll just make some pancakes. But literally, the pancakes I have they literally say on the front of the box, like where the name is. Like, you know, it used to be Aunt Jemima and whatever it is, the something Mills company. It literally says just add water. like
Yeah.
It's like in a red bubble on the front. Just
Or
add
like,
water.
like the Bisquick comes in a bottle for
point.
fucking filling with water and shaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's also leave that person stupid. Like-
That's before they even get done breakfast. Put your coat on,
Yeah.
walk out of the house, put your key in the ignition, never return.
I feel like that as soon as you see him pour the powder into the pan, I feel like you just don't even say anything and you're not even mad about it. You pick up the remote, you turn the TV off, you put your slippers on, you grab your keys, and then you just drive in a direction. And you don't really care what that direction is,
Yeah.
just away.
put on a Dire Straits song. Forget about things. She didn't understand. You actually have to pay what you spend on credit cards. Like the credit amount she had was supposed to be her monthly limit, and it just resets every month. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, I can't imagine. I mean, hopefully she had a low limit.
Yeah.
But that one is like the least dumb. I don't know how I'm justifying this, but I'm going to try.
Because it happens fucking thousands of times every, I was going to say year, but month.
Because they're predatory too, and they don't explain how credit cards work. And then it's like you hear your credit limit, like, oh, I'm a dumb girl who's really good at like English and history in school and not knowing how maps work and things. And you hear, oh, that's my credit limit. This is the limit on what I can spend every month. So I have a $5,000 limit before I can't. And God bless this terrible world.
Yeah, I'm going to say what I learned, because I had one of my first ones had like a $4,000 limit. And within like, I was like, okay, look, what I'll do is I'm doing this in an attempt to build some credit young. And I'll spend like $1,000, not quickly, but over the course of like 6 to 7 weeks. And that's like restaurants, bar tabs, gas, yada, yada. But soon realizing that I was spending like $1,300 to $1,400 to pay for that $1,000 that I spent. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I mean, listen, credit cards are good and bad. And there's got to be someone taught that early. There needs to be a high school teacher. The same one that's teaching umbilical cord cutting needs to go and do fucking pro bono work at a local school.
You mean pro boner work? You
Pro
said it wrong.
boner work, yeah. Pro or post boner, doesn't matter. My ex asked me, "Where does the sun go at night?" I was dumbfounded. She was in her early 20s at the same time. At that time, where does the sun go at night, Alan?
No, but
What do the
go to-
flat earthers think?
Thank you.
I think it goes underneath of the plate. Actually,
Yeah.
that's a lie. It goes into the turtle's mouth, and sunrise is when the turtle farts the sun back out on the other side of the flat Earth plate.
You know what's great about that is I saw a meme about flat Earth, and it was a picture of Asgard, where Thor lives in the Marvel world, because that is flat Earth. I was like, oh my god, Thor's been trolling these people for decades now.
Yeah.
Well done.
So, Alan, what you're saying is the turtle, the morning fart that he has is just horrendous. Just
Yeah,
singes everything.
yeah, that's the sunrise.
Ah,
That
man,
turtle has some dicey fajitas every night.
dicey,
Like,
dicey.
get all those beautiful hues of like pink and purple and orange. It's the gases burning off.
Dicey turtle fajitas at Chili's every night. Last one before we move on to Fun Fact Friday. In this one, we're leaving on an exclamation point, and literally a shift 1 on your keyboard. She walked into a computer lab on campus and simply picked up a computer and walked home with it. She was living with me at the time, so when I got home to find a very familiar looking computer sitting on the kitchen table, she literally thought the computers were free for students. It took a bit of explaining to convince her that she stole the computer. I made her return the computer to the lab that night. She left it on the doorsteps. Just
That's a good dude, man, because the fact
Yeah.
that she made it out of there is incredible in its own right.
right.
Which is actually more incredible than her thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say that. I mean, I'm wondering, I am curious of the timestamp on this. My guess is probably, late 80s, early 90s when you still had some robust fuckers.
No, because I wouldn't imagine a lady. No offense, ladies. I wouldn't
Doing
imagine.
a monitor and a tower.
Yeah, like
Okay.
on each arm all the way back to her dorm. I'd have to say it had to be like fairly recent because it had to be like a Mac where it's just
Yeah, where it's all like self-contained. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also like at the. I don't know. There's so many layers to this. Like, all right, I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna grab a fucking, let's call it a Mac, and it's just a big screen, and then I'm gonna pick it up. There's wires, bitch. Like, what do you do? Like, there's stuff attached to it. Or is there not? Like, I mean, or I guess
There's a-
maybe not.
At least a power cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not a mouse, and let's.
And like,
I mean, are we going to assume? You said the monitor is attached to the.
well, it's all like
to the-
one unit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
Mac, all it has is a power cord. I mean, look, here's the keyboard. It's wireless. Here's the mouse. It's wireless. Like, you could just throw these in your backpack and then just tuck the screen, unplug it, tuck the screen under your arm, and go home. Like, that's...
But then likewise, like, I mean, you've all been in like a college fucking computer lab. Like, it's not like it's plugged into the outlet over there and you just unplug it and take it with. Like, that's fucking fed down through a series of other fucking wires to like, you got to do some sort of work to get it out.
Yeah, hey, I mean, she thought they were communal. You got to do some work. College is hard work. Okay,
There's no
If
sign
that
out
means
sheet or nothing. Like, you ain't never borrowed nothing from a school. Like,
if that means popping a grommet out and feeding the fucking power cord through, so be it. And yeah, there might be a sign out sheet. You take a picture of the barcode, you save it in case it gets lost. And if it gets lost, you tell the school.
Now, this one's one of those things where, like, a little bit of naivete, and again, I will say more of a female thing than a male thing, stereotypically here. But, I mean, I remember, okay, you guys went to college, I went to college, like, when it was, like, book buying day, like, you had to get there early because there was a chance, like, your books were not going to be available if you waited too long because everybody else that was taking your class was going to buy them up. So I could see some girl like this saying, like, ooh, computer lab. I need a computer. I better get down there early before they're all gone. And then she gets there, and nobody's going to say anything to the person that's unplugging the computer and just taking it with them. They're just going to assume, like, oh, they must work here. That one must have a virus. They're taking her out. And then she just fucking rolls.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, Dumb X's, hopefully you folks have some. Listen, if our listeners have something comparable to this, I'm interested. I'm all ears. I'm all months. January to March to January, okay? Or whatever order it is in.
Whatever
Sorry,
order
that's
you
gonna
want to go.
That one stuck with me. All right. Fun Fact Fizzle Friday.
Okay. Before I
Fun
get to
Fact Tuesday.
Friday,
It's Tuesday, right?
I just want to ask one question, though. How are these people employable? How do we, how? I feel like what's that movie? The guy from fucking Jaws is in it, and it's oh god, and he's like you figured out how to pick the ponies? How?
It's Richard Dreyfuss, right?
No, it's not Richard Dreyfuss. It's Quinn. Anyway,
Sam Peckinpah.
okay, I don't even know if that sounds like real words that you just said
I
there.
don't-
Sam Peckinpah.
Let's just get to Fun Fact Friday. I just get mad that those people are probably making more money than me doing jobs that are not as complicated as mine, and they don't know what fucking part of the year fucking February falls. Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday, of course, brought to you by our great friends over at the Shin Splints Recovery Group. Suddenly, the Shin Splints Recovery Group has become much more active. Maybe it's because it's summertime. People are out jogging. They're really rifling up those shin splints. It's inflammation. It's inflammation below the knee and above the ankle. That's all you're dealing with here. So settle down, take some CBD, have a few Tylenol, rest it out a little bit. You know, maybe go have yourself a dicey fajita from Chili's, warm it up the next day, shit your brains out, and get the inflammation out of you. Let's get to it. Your mental floss. Amazing facts! Did you know? In 2014, a plastic water bottle was caught hiding in the background of a promotional photo for Downton Abbey, which spanned the 1910s to the 1920s. The gaffe reportedly led to a ban of all things modern, including water bottles, modern watches and jewelry, and even the wearing of modern underwear from the set.
Didn't know it. And I'm supposed to watch the entire series sometime in the next year or so. Christ, I'm really looking forward to that. But listen, there's all kinds of gaffes and fucking things that aren't supposed to be there. It's like Troy. There's a goddamn plane flying overhead. Achilles, a.k.a. Brad Pitt's like trying to rally his troops up in a goddamn 737. It's like, yeah. I mean, you can see these all the movies and TV shows have these all the time, and you can. I guess there's one. I think Braveheart. There's a guy holding a camera, a cameraman right behind the troops. Yeah, this stuff just goes unedited. But no, I did not know that about Downton Abbey, and that's interesting. I'm glad they turned it into a marketing campaign though.
Well, the whatchamacallit, Game of Thrones, there was a scene where somebody forgot that they had Starbucks and the cup was on the
Yeah.
on the table. But I'll have to say this, that episode I believe is one of the most watched episodes because everybody was like, "Hey, let's go watch that episode, see if we can spot the coffee cup." So it kind of worked in their favor.
I think it was also like a very important episode, but it was just in the midst of like them really botching the last season. And so like everybody was like, this shit sucks. And then they had a Starbucks cup and a shot and they were like, see, they can't even edit the fucking thing.
Wes, did you watch Game of Thrones?
I've not beginning to end. I've seen probably a dozen episodes.
Okay, because that one of the greatest letdowns of the modern era.
It's like it's unwatchable. It's unrewatchable because
I cannot here's and to Alan's point, I cannot rewatch the series because of how poorly it ended. Like now knowing like this is one of those ones where like you had the Justice League. I know you're not into the superhero movies, but you had the Justice League.
I'm familiar with Justice League.
Okay, well then they went and they released the Zack Snyder version, which I guess is better than the other. But they're not. It's not that good, but it's better. But it's one of those few times where the fans were like, release the Snyder cut. We need to know that there's a better version of this shit that we just watched out there. And I don't think anybody who watched Game of Thrones for all those seasons would be opposed to them saying, listen, we're going to remake the last season. We're not going to make it exactly how you want because we want to trick you. We want to trick you in a good way, but we're going to redo it because we fucked up. This is one of those occasions where that should happen.
Yeah, it was so bad.
I can't wait to watch. I'm in.
But no,
Downton Abbey and Game of Thrones. Here we come.
everything up to the second to last season and the last season is fucking fire. It's fucking cinematic gold.
Yeah, it's some of the finest TV. Don't fuck Downton Abbey. Don't let her force you into that bullshit. Just fucking Game of Thrones it, and then also live in hatred with yourself for watching Game of Thrones when you're done.
Yeah.
All right.
But the first fucking like 4 seasons are so
So good.
damn good. Just scoops of fucking like Ben and Jerry's ice cream like to the fucking throat all the way through.
Yeah, basically, it's not wrong.
Did you know it takes about 1.5 gallons of milk, whole milk, to make 1 gallon of ice cream? That was not planned, by the way. I didn't even realize I was saying anything about ice cream until that came out.
So it's about a 1-for-1. About.
Takes about 1.5 gallons. 1.5 gallons of
Oh,
milk.
okay.
to make
So
1 gallon of ice cream.
1.5 to 1.
Yeah. I don't know why that's even a relevant fact. I don't know why they wasted.
Yeah, that's. I mean, cool. I guess.
Do you know it takes a 3x5-inch piece of paper to give you some bullshit fact like that in a tearaway, waxy form?
It takes a whole tree to make 1 sheet of paper.
Well, what I will say is here's another fun fact for you. Sometimes it takes one shitty fact to move Fun Fact Friday along very quickly. Because did you know? Wolfia globosa, a type of duckweed also known as the Asian watermeal, is the world's smallest fruit. It's roughly the same size as a grain of salt.
Well, you see, now we know ducks aren't animals. They're fruits that are kind of weeds.
Shut up, duckweed.
Duckweed duck.
But how is that even... Okay, can you classify something as a fruit that is too small to ingest as a... To me, a fruit... Okay, like a strawberry, you could eat one and be satisfied by it. You could put a blueberry in your mouth, even though you're not going to be really satisfied, gratified, like, from a hunger standpoint. But you can chew on that for a minute. If I put this thing in my mouth, I can't chew. I can't chew a grain of salt, something that tiny. So what do you take? Do you get, like, a spoonful of it? Is it like grape nuts? The terrible cereal that no one eats?
Kind of looks like it. Yeah, it looks like rice, kind of.
Duckweed.
Or quinoa, or whatever the shit that.
Quinoa.
Quinoa.
Quinoa. That's it.
I'm aware. I just like calling it quinoa.
Well, one time you said you called it canal now.
Just call it anything but its actual name.
I hear it's healthy.
Joaquin.
It's delicious, actually.
Joaquino
Joaquin,
Phoenix.
give me some of that Joaquin Phoenix.
I've wanted to try it, but I feel like, is it work? Is that like one of those like superfoods? It's like work to like eat.
You can,
It's like eating rice, honestly, to me.
if you get it in its raw form, kind of like the rice, it can be a bit cumbersome in terms of cooking. But you can get quote unquote instant, which is
Yeah.
like it cuts it into like a third. You have to put it like boil water, throw that in, let it boil for another minute, put the lid on it, turn it down to half heat, and let it go for about 15 minutes or so.
Like cooking rice.
God. That
Well,
just
there is minute rice, but I'm talking about.
I know, but like cooking actual long grain fucking rice takes.
I thought that was like 40 minutes, more like a half hour. If
It
you're
is,
getting the
It is.
Yeah.
It's like it depends
That's
on
just-
the rice you got.
That's just the person at the Chinese food place that you work. Half hour, 40 minutes. It doesn't take that long.
No, cooking actual rice does take a little while.
yeah.
All right.
We'll throw some duckweed in there, speed the process up.
Yeah, there you go.
Did you know, according to science, dogs...
Sorry, that's That's so good.
Yeah.
According to just the overarching thing that we know as science.
The
Just
realm of
all
science.
sciences.
It's why I gave that comma an extra pause. According to science, dogs are very good indeed. One study demonstrated that petting a dog can reduce a person's blood pressure. Another indicated that heart attack patients were more likely to be alive in a year if they owned a dog versus patients who didn't own a pooch. Except in Wesley Fox's case, where his heart goes into
heart-
an arrhythmia.
Heart attack inducing. That's correct. I didn't know that, but I did learn actually this week that the same way you look at a dog and think that the dog's cute, and you're like, "Hey, buddy, how are you? Good to see you." The same part of your brain that gets stimulated and endorphins fly off happens to them. They look at you. Now I don't know if they're thinking like, "Oh my god, what a cute human being," but it's it's the same stimulant that fire triggers off that response between dog and human.
Yeah, and they're also, I believe, the only animal who emotes with their eyes. According to science.
According to science. That's so. I might adopt that. Listen, according to science, and then just say some bullshit.
Just
Hey,
say-
hey, Jimbo. Do you know, according to science, March comes after February.
I have no interest in knowing that.
According to Julius Caesar, he's July.
Oh, very nice.
Right.
Where does
it-
Octavius come into play?
No, it's because hold on. It was 10 months, and then Julius and Augustus penciled themselves in.
Okay.
'Cause- Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
right.
hey, hey,
All right.
oh, hey.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
oh.
That's not
Back off.
science, though.
Yeah, right.
And this isn't either. Did you know? Before Chuck E. Cheese was a guitar-playing mouse, he was a tired-looking rat from New Jersey. The thick-accented rodent was often seen smoking cigars in promotional images as well as in the Pizza Time Theater comic book. In 1980, Chuck put out his last cigar for the Great American Smokeout campaign.
Did not know that.
A dude in a rat suit
It's
smoking
not
cigars.
not
And
surprising, but
I just love how he's like, he's from Jersey. He's smoking cigars. It's like, hey, kids, you want to come have a good time? Why don't you follow me? Come on into this dimly lit arcade I got over here for you. I got some cheap pizza and a good time.
ball pit.
Ball pits.
Yeah. They made it wholesome. They dumbed down Charles E. Cheese. That's wild. No, I didn't know. And I didn't know it spawned from Jersey. Now that I know that, anyone who starts bragging about New Jersey, I'm going to be like, hey, Chuck E. Cheese was a fucking drunk cigar smoker. He lured kids into some fucking ball pit room.
The New Jersey version of Chuck E. Cheese involved a cigar smoking rat. They cleaned it up for the rest of America. You fucking pieces of shit.
And they kept it until 1980 because it was working.
He's used to just like drink whiskey and sing Sinatra songs. Hey!
It's just fucking Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen songs.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Band played. They're just like living on a prayer.
Because tramps like us, baby, we were born to run.
No, because varmints like us.
Oh, yeah.
We were born to run. Come on, get it right.
They only sold pizzas by the slice. Fucking at that particular Chuck E. Cheese.
Bonus fact, anyone like to guess what Chuck E. Cheese's middle name is?
Entertainment.
Boom. Well done, Alan. Very proud of you. And you
I
win
feel-
nothing.
I feel this was you win a cigar from Charles E. Cheese. I'll send
Sure.
you. I'll send you a blunt, whatever you want.
Like Charles Entertainment Cheese sounds like a New Jersey fucking street rat. Like
But yeah.
my middle name's Entertainment.
it sounds like a fucking used car salesman.
While he's blowing the cigar smoke out of the side of his mouth. I'm entertainment. Come on.
Oh, and that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Real quick, because we don't have a whole lot of time, I do want to make note of it. I posted this on the official Middle Class Holes Facebook page. Christ, in case you didn't think Australia was any crazier than it is, they have spiders. Not only spiders that bite you, but spiders when they do bite you, they induce an erection. These these fuckers are 4 inches long, and I'm talking about the spiders, by the way. Colored black and red dots. They have a particular name. It's the Brazilian wandering spider. They used to use these things for I guess some research. So according to science, they use these as research to figure out how to actually treat ED, and erectile dysfunction. But yeah, it shut down a restaurant. They had to clear them out, or a Walmart rather. They had to clear it out. They had to deem it safe for people to return. I thought they did themselves a disservice because if you shop at Walmart and get bit by a spider that induces an erection, I'm going to shop at that Walmart.
Yeah, but you don't want to be at a Walmart where everybody's got a spider bitten induced erection.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want to. That's a feeding frenzy. Charles E. Cheese is getting a one-way flight from Newark to Sydney.
Hey, kids. Come on in.
Hey, mate. You guys say mate around here a lot, don't you?
Just put a crocodile hat on him. Send him over.
For 1,500 tickets, I'll let this spider bite you on the butt.
Crocodiles like to eat rats, don't they? Well, I'm a mouse. It's all good. I don't know. I mean, listen. There's a comedian who once talked about, I don't remember who it is, but basically why Australia is no good. It just you have the biggest crocodile known to man that eats the shit out of people. You have sharks that attack surfers, and then on land, you have a rabbit problem that they had to build a fence for from one end of the country to the other. Kangaroos that fight and fucking attack their dogs, all types of lizards, and now spiders that induce fucking hard-ons that last hours.
Yeah, it's the best thing they got, though.
I mean, that one's at least somewhat useful.
Yeah,
And it makes me wonder, like, look, instead of ordering like Viagra from some like online mail service once a month,
Yeah,
why not just have this guy living in a jar?
that spider.
Yeah, and then when the
living in a jar. Wow, wow. Sorry.
I guess the only drawback would be like, is the bite excruciatingly painful? You know what I mean? Like, do you get a hard on? Do you get a hard on? But like then like get exactly. It's you get like a fever in the sweats. You know, you know what I mean? Then
Wes was about to say it. That juice is worth the squeeze, baby.
Yeah. I guess it would be for nothing if you're sickly, ill, fever, flu-like symptoms. You know, you have this raging hard on, you can't fuck because you're bedridden. Baby, I'm just going to lay on my back for this one.
They didn't list any other side effects. They just said basically boner-inducing spider.
No, it can cause severe symptoms including extraordinary pain, increased pulse, blood pressure, respiratory rate, and penile erection that lasts for several hours.
That just sounds like foreplay to me.
Right.
The extraordinary pain, though.
Well, hey, look, you don't live in my body. You don't understand.
That's fair.
Well, folks, if you're looking for, potential hard-on organically, I suppose, a nature-induced hard-on, it's not the little blue pill, which apparently are, hyper safe, under certain circumstances. I don't know. I've never taken one, so I don't know. By the way, get down to Australia, check it out, find a spider, grab it, and have it bite you. Let us know how it works out.
Just fucking flick them around a little bit, piss them off. See what happens. Fuck around, find out.
Alan, tell all the would-be erection havers and crocodilians down in attention seekers, Charles E. Cheese wanderers, and New Jersey habitants where you can find the middle class holes.
You can beat your meats to all of our content on all of your favorite social media platforms. We're at MDL Class Holes on Instagram and Twitter. We're the Middle Class Holes on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. That one always fucks up my flow, honestly. And you can hear us for your listening pleasure on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. That's right.
No comments this week. We'll hold out for next week. Otherwise, folks, Christ, I don't know. I was gonna say enjoy the rest of your summer, but we got a month left. We got we got a month left, and hey, if you don't know the order of the months, it may be more months. It may be like summer could be endless. So all right, take it easy.